Welcome everybody to another edition of the In the Paint Show. Me and Umana here, episode 170, starting a new high school basketball season. We're going to touch a lot on high school basketball today. Thank everybody for supporting our Fab 50 show. I know a lot of people looked at it. A lot of people looked at the rankings. Obviously, we're going now. Ani, what did you think about that the last couple of weeks? Stuff's out there. Games are started. Just what's your hot take on just the season starting?
Yeah, man. I mean, my hot take really is that these guys, like with these loaded rosters, you still got to play the damn game.
Yeah, correct.
Some of these rosters we see, it's like, man, ranked here, and even for the Fab 50, I think for the most part, it's very, very accurate. And obviously, things move, right?
Sure.
But I think one thing that really kind of stuck by me is that, man, you still got to play the game, right?
Yeah.
And you got to play the game all 4 quarters.
Yes.
And that's something I'm not, I don't really see. I'm not really seeing like that. It's like, man, you're too talented to, give up leads. Like my guys are too talented to, lose against teams that they just want it more. I'm seeing more than I think that it's just off to start the season. Like, you should be tired of playing against yourselves all fall to go against somebody else and not even show much hunger. That's really odd to me.
Yeah, so let's take a little bit of that for a minute. Do you think the fall leagues, and especially in California and Texas, there's just so many of them? Do you think that kills the edge a little bit? Maybe to start the season, instead, like you said, toward the end of this, before season starts, you should almost be damn near fighting your teammate because you're sick of them. Like, do you think there's just too many games a little bit, or do you think, no, that's just the way it is, and fall league is fall league?
I think it's too many games. I think there's too many fall leagues. I think, but it's tough, especially in Cali and in Texas, because someone you're close with may have a fall league showcase. Then you have yours, so you expect them to be there. Then your other homie may have a fall league, so you got to support.
Brethren,
and then, like for us, Gasso, so you want to make sure you support the Gasso because they do a lot.
Sure.
They do a lot of covering, and Gasso may have 3 or 4, like have. I know they go to San Antonio, Houston, Dallas twice. So you may want to support 2 of those. So sometimes it's part of it is there are too many, just amongst like schools, amongst event organizers, just a compilation of all that.
Yeah.
But it's also hard because you also want to support your friend, or you want to support people that support you.
Your coaching brethren, that makes a lot of sense.
So you end up, instead of playing maybe 6 to 10 fall league games, you end up playing 15 to 20.
Yeah.
And so I think that kind of dilutes, going to the regular season. Like, these guys have been they've been damn near playing like a real regular season schedule, prior to even going into the regular season.
No doubt. That makes sense. And I want to get your take on that. When you say a good team or a great team, have you ever seen a team that maybe you thought peaked too early, or like, damn, they're flat in the playoffs, they peaked, or nah, that a little overrated, the best teams win, the best teams get through? Or do you think a team can peak too early at the high school level? We know an NBA team or college team could probably peak, but how about the high school teams?
I think in a high school level, you don't really see a team peak early.
No, I don't think so too much.
Not really. Like, if they're just that talented, talent just going to win out more in the high school level. At the end, especially if they're decently coached. You don't even have to be like that well coached. You're decently coached with a lot of talent. Talent can still take over and win. I don't see a lot of peaking early. Now I see guys peaking at the right time. You'll see that more. Peaking early, not so much. If you're really good in the fall, you're generally going to be really good during the season.
Yeah.
Unless barring injuries and stuff, that is generally, if you're good in the fall, you're gonna be good in the spring. You're gonna be good during the season. Now I've seen teams that have been bad in the fall been good during January.
They can improve.
But mostly, if you're good now, you're gonna be good later.
Yeah, it's not a problem. I agree with that. I don't see too much peaking. If you're good at the high school level. And that's what our first main topic is today, our first hot take. We're gonna talk about this topic that's out there in the sphere of social media. Speaking of that, and talent in high school, and obviously the number 1 team in the Fab 50 is Montverde Academy. They've been number 1. This is their 9th time now in like 13 years. It's not a secret. When the rankings came out, it wasn't a secret. It wasn't a big deal, really. Most people thought they were going to be number one, but now we hear they play in a scrimmage or they have a game, and it's like, oh my God, Cooper Flag and Robert Wright and these guys. Oh, they'll beat a college team. People are all on Twitter talking about it. They'll beat a college team. Oh yeah, they for surely could beat one. Oh, they might win a conference. It's like, okay, Ani, let's get your hot take on that. We're talking about the number one team in the country, number one team in the Fab 50. Great power, but like, give me your take on that. Them versus the average run-of-the-mill college team.
Well, for a college team, yeah, I mean they could beat, like look below, like some lower level, like when I say lower level, like maybe they can beat a really bad Division I program.
Okay.
Maybe a bad,
real bad team. Yeah.
Mid-tier Division II, Division III. Yeah, they'll be fine.
They probably have the talent to beat.
They have the talent. Now the tweet said they can beat a lot of D1 teams. That's what I read.
That's what you read.
That's a wild ass statement. Like it was clickbait. I know Elon Musk is going to send him a fat check because he got a lot of interactions off of that. But that's not true.
Okay.
It's not true. Listen, I forgot who tweeted this, but this is exactly what I thought. There ain't no way them dudes are going to go against a 23, 24, 25-year-old dude.
Because that's what college is now.
That knows he's kind of on his last legs in the concept of getting that NIL, getting money, getting that degree, getting that master's. And you mean to tell me that they're just going to beat them type of dudes down?
No.
Guys, Ronnie, we just saw it with the G League Ignite in that Houston G League team. I mean, the Utah G League team yesterday. What was it called, like 158 to 98?
Oh, wow.
They're going to big brother them. At the end of the day, they ain't going to let a bunch of 17, 18-year-old dudes, like if you're 21, 22, you ain't going to let none 17, 18-year-old guys beat you.
Yeah, it's more the mentality. If you've played the game, you understand it's a big advantage to be 23 compared to 17 or 16. And I agree with you there. It is just a clickbait type of thing. It's worth discussing because to talk about high school, we like to talk about college, the differences. We mention that on the website a lot in our various articles. Here and there we'll give some timeless article, but yeah, people don't understand. So let's just break it down real quick. There's about 352 colleges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're D1. That's a lot. So there is a lot of colleges. So I understand what you're saying when you say Montverde. Now, Montverde just one program. That's not like every high school team's like that. So we're not talking about, Little Elm or freaking San Antonio, Brennan or Dallas Lincoln. We're not just talking about a high school. This is like a one team that's just like an aberration in many respects.
Right.
But when you talk about college, a lot of people don't know that's 352 colleges. That's a lot. So I went to a college game. I want to talk about this real quick. I went to a college game. It was to see Anderson Hunt's jersey retirement at UNLV. Now he played on the 90 championship team. He was the 1990 most outstanding player. And that was one of the greatest college teams I've seen. They beat Duke by 30 in the championship game in Denver. But the point is, this UNLV team and the team they were playing, Stetson wasn't very good, Ani. So that was the point I'm trying to bring. So there's a lot of teams like Stetson. They had trouble scoring. UNLV played good team defense, and UNLV is not going to make the Elite Eight or the Final Four.
Right.
They're trying to survive. Like you said, these guys are scratching, clawing. They're trying to, they're well coached, well defensively coached. College defenses are a hell of a lot better than high school defense.
100%.
The way they're locked in. You're watching Montverde's highlights against some Joe Blow nobodies that can't even play with them. You know what I mean? So I'm with you. It's like maybe on a good day, a low-level D1 team that has, not a lot of talent, Cooper Flag and those guys can put it together, get hot, get the but if it's a grinding out game and there's a lot of low percentage shooting, that college team is going to be boxing those boys out.
And people don't understand this, Ronnie. You're absolutely right, but people don't understand this. A lot like when I feel like when people make these statements like that, they have never seen a college scouting report.
Yes. That's
They
another good point.
They will take away everything that
that
player
average high school player is going to do.
like
Yeah.
that the attention to detail on a scouting report in college is so much different than high school, even at the best high schools. Like,
correct.
I know Montverde coach does a really good job.
Yeah, Coach Boyle does a great job. Yeah.
What they do in a college level as far as game planning, they will take everything away. They will try to take everything away, and they'll read you like a book.
Yeah.
There's no, and again, they're older. I ain't gonna let no 17-year-old bust my head open.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll hurt this dude before I let him drop 30 off.
It's a little different. Correct. Because in high school, if you're a great team and a great player, you're already looking forward to college. That's your next goal.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in college and you're average or you're below average, every game matters. Every detail matters. You know, you maybe trying to get overseas. You're trying to hold on. You got to get a job. Your baby mama's got on your head, or your girlfriend's like, you got a lot of pressure. You're 24, 23. You're like, what am I going to do with my life? Every moment matters to you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I see it. I saw it at the Stetson game versus UNLV. Now, it was a great moment. It was about Anderson Hunt. I wish, he's the 12th guy to get his jersey retired there, number 12. Shout out to Anderson Hunt, Detroit Southwestern, great college player, one of my favorites. But the point is, Stetson couldn't score, and they're good. They had some pretty good players. They got some pretty good players. But, man, the defense was much more intense than the average high school game we're watching in Vegas or the Border League or Stark or any of those tournaments. Like, it's night and day. So people got to realize that. Go to watch a game. First of all, I would say that. Go watch the average D1 game. Go watch Central Florida versus, Louisiana Tech or something. Again, I'm just making
right.
See how good they are. You got to respect that. So I think it's about respect, honey. You got to have a little more respect for the college game, the college coaches, and we have respect for both, because let's just be honest, we're not showing no punches here. We're in business. We're getting paid to talk about high school, and we also want colleges to take our opinion seriously. So we're trying to say respect both levels. Don't just talk out of your, talk out of your ear, like saying anything. Mm-hmm. So I get it. It's for the internet, but we kind of wanted to say that. I don't know if you got too much more to say about it, but like, respect both levels. High school is getting better. I don't know about college, Johnny. I don't know. We got these older guys still in college a little bit. Maybe we're going to get a younger wave. Some of these teams are going to get a little younger, 100%. But these colleges like older guys, and boy, they play for keeps. They only got 30 games. Again, you only got, some of these guys, you only got 2 years. Some of these guys they transfer. They feel like it's their only shot,
Right.
So different feel than maybe 30, 20 years ago, where college was celebrated a little differently. It was about the rivalries and what's on TV. Now you can watch every game. Mm-hmm. So I would challenge you, go watch a game on ESPN Plus or one of these, stream games, and see how good these colleges are. There's a lot of good players. And I would say that, 350 teams, it's very cutthroat. I don't know how good some of these guys are deep on these benches late in these. I think there's some DT2 players and teams that are like really, really good. And I think that's another point. Like, you got to really give respect to a D2 All-American or a D2 guy. He'll bust your chop. He'll bust your butt.
Man, you come to the Lone Star Conference. I tell people this.
Yeah.
There are teams in the Lone Star Conference, D2, in State, Texas.
Yeah.
That will bust some Division I team's ass.
Yeah.
And a D2 All-American is a player. He's a player, like you said.
Yeah.
That's why I said lower to maybe mid-tier D2s. Higher mid-level to high-end D2s, Montverde not beating them.
No. Yeah. I agree with you. And we don't got to spend much time on that, because we're not here to bash one or the other, bash college or bash Montverde or any high school. And then got to remember, Montverde is one of one. Like, the average high school team's not even state or nationally ranked. Then you got 50 that are ranked, that we rank, and we try to do our best to rank them. Then you got Montverde, who's like leading that pack. So it's like, keep that in mind. We're not talking about the average team. And then, I mean, Chelsea's not on today, but I'm sure she would love her give her take, and she probably wouldn't want to spend much time on it because she thinks it's ridiculous, and we do too. But it's like, oh, I'll pick that Clay Travis guy on Twitter's like, I'll pick any college team, put up my put up
high
any
school team
WME
to beat
team,
the
yeah,
WNBA.
beat the WME, like respect the levels, like, yeah,
Right.
I'll put up. Give me. I know he's thinking of like a Montverde or a state champion, like go up against Asia Wilson and those girls, and it's like, come on, man, what are we talking
Yeah, what are
about?
we doing?
Like, it's not even worth breaking down at all. So yeah, I think the main take for you're saying is like slow your roll, give respect, and for me, it's like, yo, go out there and watch.
I agree.
There's a lot of teams, a lot of D1s. Go follow them, see what you think. Support them because they need your support. So, well, on that note, we'll move forward. Speaking of like hot takes and things that people talk about, we got to talk a little bit on it because we kind of keep it professional. Obviously, me and you can get into a little bit more. Again, with Chelsea, we kind of keep it PG-13. Yeah, we're showing respect to her. We don't want to just talk crazy like we're just talking with the fellas at a bar or something. But like sometimes these guys get on these podcasts, and obviously we're doing one too, but they just say anything off the cuff.
Yeah.
What do you talk a little bit about that and some of the recent things you've heard or like, and we'll break it down.
Well, when Gilbert Arenas said that Hakeem Olajuwon is stealing money, charging his buddy for the post work and kind of talking like
50
it's
racks.
outdated. Like, what are we doing? Like, footwork is footwork, right?
Yeah.
If Hakeem could play in today's NBA, it'd be great.
Super great. Yeah.
People with really good footwork still thrive in the NBA. I know people want to talk about, well, the post game is dead or whatever.
Yeah.
Look at how Nikola Jokic, especially when they played against the Suns, how he dominated the post, or especially when Joel Embiid, he's in the post. I mean, I'm not giving a whole lot of examples, but post work is not dead. Footwork is not dead in the NBA. Like, even for guards or wings or like guys that have terrific footwork, it helps them. Can't say like someone like Giannis who was fairly predictable with his offense attack. You mean to tell me like it's a waste of time to go to Hakeem to improve his footwork and skill? That's wild. Like, it's wild, and it's like, did you really go back? Like, these guys are older than me. Ronnie, I go back and watch 1995
finals or something.
Finals, Western Conference Finals, stuff like that. And we'll look at Hakeem and look at and seeing, and then kind of, correlate and see how some of the stuff still gets used today. And just to say it's outdated is like, you're not watching that era. You were watching highlights, but you weren't watching those games like that.
You weren't watching the games.
You need to probably go back and watch it. I think I heard same pod, and I ain't trying to kill him, but it is what it is. Like Rashad McCann said, Greg Popovich isn't a great coach. He just had great players. Man, like people just gotta watch basketball. Like I think there's not enough guys that really watching basketball go back and watch full games.
Watch the full games, yeah.
But watch it. Here's the thing I say: watch it with an empty mind, like a clean mind. Like, don't watch it going in, I want to be right, so I'm going to watch it and I'm going to critique hard. Like, just watch it.
And it doesn't have HD, 1020 and all that. So you got to put that aside and just watch.
Just watch.
Yeah, that's because I'm used to watching VHS. I'm used to watch. So when I watch again, say, this looks, man, you can't see what's happening. I see athleticism. I see movement. It don't matter if there's a grainy video. Like, I think some people get caught up in a little bit of that too. Oh, that's old. So right away, they, like you said, they go in there with a certain mindset and they dismiss it. Oh, they get that old ass tape. Them dudes are plumbers, whatever. But when you have an NBA guy saying that or an ex-NBA guy, that puts a lot of weight on young people's mind. It's almost like you're poisoning them. Right. You know what I mean? I think,
I think, and I think like coaching. I think now coaching some gets undervalued. Like, if you go back and watch games, like I know people want to talk about Phil Jackson. Well, he had Kobe, Shaq, and Michael and Scotty, but like, look at the adjustments he's made, like during games with those guys. Like, it takes a good coach to make adjustments on the fly. and be ahead of the other coach. Obviously they're not on the court winning games, but you ain't just gonna just roll the ball out and say, "Hey, y'all go win me an NBA championship." It ain't that easy. It's not that easy. And so I definitely, like, even when I say watch basketball, like, watch the adjustments these coaches make on the fly. Like, watch what they make. Watch these ATOs that they call. Like, there's just so much that goes into the game, especially in the NBA, that I think people kind of just like get lost in, or just maybe they don't see.
They're just seeing the highlights, or they're just seeing a few plays. They're not really intently watching. They could be eating. They could be talking to somebody. I mean, intently watch and see all that goes on. There's so
and
much
Ronnie, like you said, these are guys that played in the league, that know these, that they know this.
That goes to show you sometimes what's the difference between guys that win and guys that don't. You know what I mean? Kind of like I make the point where I like Lewis Williams. I mean, he was a great high school player at South Gwinnett. I know he's a sixth man of the year multiple times. But when I hear him saying that, again, another hot take, well, we were in the bubble. The bubble wasn't tripping. People didn't think it was a chip. So we just kind of like, we ain't tripping. Like, that's why you guys didn't win. That's why you don't win anything. Like, that's a crazy statement. Again, he's just talking on a pod. He might just be talking in jest. Ani, sometimes guys just talk.
Yeah.
Me and you do it too with our buddies.
100%.
We just talk. Oh, he sucks. Oh, he's great. Oh, he's fine. Whatever the hell guys say. Sometimes we're just talking, but like you just say that. It says the whole mentality. Like, sometimes you wonder why guys don't win, or like people they just score points, or they just have accolades, but they're not there at the end. That's a crazy statement to say about when you're going for an NBA title, and there's only so many opportunities you get. I don't know. It's kind of wild to me.
And you know what? I'll go even a little bit deeper on it. I do think that players today, there's the attention to detail part. Even in the NBA, there's a great depth of talent. Like, even from the worst teams and stuff like that. I think the talent level is really good in the game of basketball. But I do think that paying attention to details is a very hard thing. For our youth in the game. And I think when you dismiss greats and the things that they did that could actually fundamentally help young players, I don't think that sends the right message. And maybe you don't. Maybe people don't care about that. That's fine. But like, I don't think it sends the right message.
Yeah, and I would say that I agree with that. I will say this: when I was watching the Hakeem Olajuwon in real time, because Houston games were on TV a lot, I kind of remember they made some playoff runs. I was like, this dude is awesome. And then when he beat David Robinson, the year Robinson won the MVP in the Western Finals, like, dude, he just took his game to another level. Then he beat Patrick Ewing too, like in the finals. It's like, whoa, this guy's an all-time great. You could see it. You could sense it. He was great. So shout out to Hakeem. If I had 50 G's, I'd be telling people, go check him out. Go rock with him. You know what I mean? That's awesome. To me, that's pretty awesome. Again, 50 G's is a lot, but to some guys, it ain't nothing. But some of these statements are wild. So big fans, when you're out there, me and Anna will give you the real, like, really be careful with what you really take to heart with some of these things, or you're just trying to make hot takes, because we don't really have hot takes that much, Ani. Like, hot takes were just for people to just be clicking in. We want to give some informative information. Now, we could be goofy and silly, but not to that level. We just don't do it to that level. It's just not going to happen. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, it don't fly. We want people to respect what we got going on, and we appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, this is episode 170 as we start the season. So we're going to jump to our main topic today, kind of our scouting report. And we want to talk a little bit about all levels, all three levels real quick, but we'll focus on high school grassroots. But Ani, I know the NBA season starts real high line, and your scoutings that you do, what draft pick or what rookies really surprised? Again, we're not really talking about Wemby. He's obviously going to, we'll talk about him in another pod. Maybe Chelsea comes on because we can see what he's doing. But what do you see so far? A couple guys surprise you, or young, first year or second year player?
Obviously, like like you said, Wemby, Chet, second year, he's been really good. They're playing tonight, so this will be a really good evaluation game. I mean, just an early evaluation game. I know they're playing the preseason. Case and Wallace has been really good. For the Thunder, he was someone when he got drafted there because they have so much talent on that roster.
Young
I
talent.
was wondering, I was like, man, like where does he fit in? Like, can he
Yeah.
get in? Like, you always knew he was going to be a good pro, but for him this early to start some games, I think he's still starting to be productive. He has some games where he didn't miss a shot. He plays real quality defense. I wouldn't say I'm surprised because I know how good he is. I was surprised because they have such a large depth of talent.
Yeah.
How quickly he has gone in and getting quality minutes.
Adjusting. Yeah.
So he's been a pleasant surprise to me. I really like that. He's been doing good. Like kind of sometimes like Keontae George, what's interesting to me is that they're playing him more at the point.
Okay.
One of his recent games, he has 7 assists. So, Keontae, who we've always seen kind of play more off the ball, just be more of a scorer, right? Seeing him now making that transition to play more on the ball and seeing him make those reads and, balance the scoring and the passing. That's just interesting to me. I will like to see where he's at by January, kind of going to that All-Star break. I think he'll start really. I think we'll see some double games potentially out of him, like a few double games. So I like how Utah's kind of grooming him to be more of that one. Scoot Henderson's obviously been struggling. Kind of a surprise.
Interesting. Yeah.
Just the 3-point shooting is not really going. Is really not there. Just kind of struggling making reads. Has some, assist turnover ratio is not the greatest right now. I think he'll get better.
So it's like a sink or swim thing. He's playing a lot.
He's playing right. Like Ronnie, we saw him when he went up against Wemby in Vegas, and I think that talent is still there. I think it's just a big learning curve, especially being on a team that's rebuilding like Portland. So I think once he kind of gets more comfortable in the NBA game, the 3-point shot starts to fall a little bit more, where guys have to, close out harder, and he can kind of attack those closeouts and get to the rim and kind of get to the floater game. I think that will really help him down the road. Speaking of second year guys like Shadon Sharp, he's playing really well.
He's playing a lot more. Yeah.
He said that was a really good draft pick. I know people kind of were questioning because he didn't play at Kentucky, right? So, he had a solid rookie year. I think he's really kind of making the jump. Has he had some kind of iffy like shooting percentage games, but I think like his shot creating ability, his athleticism, I think he's kind of showing the ability to really create and be a scorer on the ball. That's why I really like. So like Anthony Black, he started a few games. I think Markelle Fultz has been out. The LA game, he was really good. He had like a plus. I don't know, Ronnie was something crazy. Like he was just his plus minus. He had the highest plus on the floor for the Magic, especially in the game. That Mavs game, he did good, just hustling, passing, rebound, defending. He hit 2 threes early on against the Mavs. I know that's been like the swinging skill with him. It's his jump shooting. So just to see him comfortable out there, he had to sit out, wasn't getting many minutes, if any minutes at all at first. Guy gets hurt, he jumps in. He's doing a solid job. That kind of those adversity things that some of these players, that these rookies that they really haven't had to face. Like, none of these guys had to face, only getting 3 minutes in a game or only but seeing how they kind of just play through that and seeing how they're just adjusting to it, even from game 1 to now game 10 or 11, that's been what's really interesting to me.
Yeah. It's been about 10 games in for a lot of these guys. I see a lot of guys doing well. Again, that seems to be most of the focus on social media, is even more than the wins and losses. Everybody's interested in how the young guys are doing. They give their stat lines. They, talk about the draft pick. Everybody's really enthralled with like where guys get drafted and how well they do. The guy I want to mention, and he kind of got a little forgotten. Again, we talked about him a lot in the 222 draft show, is Chet Holmgren for Oklahoma coming back. And it's like he missed that whole season, and he's putting up some ridiculous, shot block, rebound type games. where he's making an impact. So where people were talking about Wembanyama, and he's kind of in another tier on his own almost. Like, well, Chet Holmgren is right there. If he can keep it up, we'll see how which guys can keep it up.
Right.
Like keep it over 82 games, and so maybe 70 games. They'll probably sit a few here and there. Hopefully not too much, but Holmgren's got to get some mention because he's in the mix there with those young guys. He's one of the better ones. Seems like it's like you said, Oklahoma's hitting well on their picks. Casey Wallace and him, and just doing well with their young players in general. So kudos to them and their drafting guys and some of the guys we know that work for them. So that's good. And again, we kind of talk about the young guys. He's one guy that don't forget about what he does. He may sneak up in there and really challenge Wemby for Rookie of the Year.
Oh, 100%.
So real high line. Not that should Wemby be in the All-Star game, the main All-Star game. Or is he coming back?
He's on the border. He's on the border.
Okay. Good.
He's on the border. I think if I had to just give an answer, yes.
Okay.
From the shot blocking, the scoring, I know he's had some tough games.
Yeah.
But his numbers are very, very solid. Right now, I would put him on the border, but say yes. And you know how it is with the NBA All-Star game. They're gonna announce it and about
the world's gonna go crazy.
No, but 30% of them gonna be hurt or not participate. So I say yes because he's gonna be on that border.
He's gonna get in. Yeah.
He'll get in.
Yeah, half the dudes ain't taking it seriously, so it's let's put this dude in.
Right. Right. They gonna be hurt. They not half of them ain't gonna play, so he'll get it. That's why when the question gets asked or when people bring it up, I'm like, guys, they're gonna announce however many guys and take away 10 of those
7
dudes.
of them. Yeah.
7 to 10 of those dudes. So he's gonna get in.
Wow. And he could be deserving. Again, we got guys like LeBron who didn't play as a rookie and Carmelo Anthony. I remember those two because it stood out. So we'll see how it goes. Again, we'll track them. We'll come back and talk about that. Hopefully with Chelsea in another episode. But let's move on to the college game. Very early. We don't have as much data. But, any names that you're either looking forward to that you've seen already that's hey, this guy is either a transfer or a freshman and he's going to be balling.
Yeah, no. I mean, one of the more obvious ones, like Isaiah Collier. He's been really, really good. To me, he's been the best point guard in college basketball.
Sure.
I probably would have drafted number 1 in 24. I know people have concerns with the shooting. I mean, in a so draft, if he becomes a decent enough shooter, he's the best. I just roll the dice on the shooting. I ain't gonna lie to you. He's really good, strong, gets to the rim, can really freaking pass the basketball at a high level. He defends. He really can get into the attacks the other opposing teams a point of attack. He's a disruptor. I really like Isaiah Collier. Someone mentioned I think that he may be the best passer they've seen since Jason Kidd. I'm not going to say all that.
Whoever said that, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, that's wild.
Yeah,
but he's a really good passer. He's tough. I've seen some of the finishes he had; they're insane. I just really enjoy watching him. I enjoy watching him. Another kid was at he's out your way, Colin Boswell for Arizona. He's having a really good sophomore campaign, averaging 12 points a game right now. Shooting a ridiculous 61% from 3,
wow.
Which it's not sustainable. I doubt it, but he's making shots. He's rebounding well at the guard position, averaging about 3 assists a game. So really like how he's been playing. I think guys like Wade Taylor, who's the preseason SEC Player of the Year, he's been fantastic. I'm going to watch him tonight as they go against SMU. So that's going to be a big-time game. That's going to be fun. Just his shot making. He really held a job with his floater game. He's tough. He's someone that, I do get asked, what do you think of him as an NBA projection? And I'm just like, well, I kind of didn't think he would be this good in college. I didn't think he'd be this good.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to stop doubting Wade Taylor. So I don't know how good of a pro is, but I think he'll make it in the NBA. Like I think he'll figure out how to make it. So really like how Wade Taylor's been playing. Kylan Boswell's really impressed me. Isaiah Collier, Jacoby Walter, big time performance against Auburn. Which is
the first right away.
He doesn't need much space to make shots. He's just really confident in his teammate in the front court who classed up. And Ronnie, like we know, like guys that class up, they can hit or miss, probably more of a miss than a hit. But yes, Missy, who's been really good for Baylor. He's now kind of circling himself in draft boards. He's had really good performances. He's athletic. He's long. He's mobile. He shows some promise in his offensive game. He was someone that I thought may need like another year or two to really figure it out. But he's they say he's been progressing very fast. He's been getting better and he's just really confident. So I'm impressed like to see a kid like him that classed up. No one really, paid it any mind. But now he's kind of really making his presence shown.
Great. Well, it's funny because you mentioned a couple. I saw USC live, so I got a chance to see them live already. And like you said, the comparison to Jason Kidd is not there. I seen both of them live at the same stage, and he can't pass like Jason Kidd, but he's a great passer. But like not Jason Kidd was on another level. But he's a great prospect. And like you said, in a draft that's a little still wide open. Again, we'll talk about that a lot the coming months because it is a wide open draft. And somebody's going to merge and somebody's going to do good. So, boy, he gets downhill really good. He's really strong. We're talking about the Wheeler standout, Isaiah Collier. I saw him against K-State in Las Vegas. It was one of their USC had an opening win. He's definitely should be up there in terms of who gets taken right away in this 224 draft. But like you said, jumper work in progress. A lot of guys' jumpers are work in progress, though. So, we'll, again, back to Scoot Henderson. Again, when you look at the totality of prospects over the years, when we were watching him live against one of the best prospects we ever seen, or the best prospect we ever seen, I didn't see a guy like, wow, this is the best 6'2", 6'3" guard I've seen in 20 years. No, he's just another guard. So if he has a little struggles in Portland, especially with Lillard moving on, like it's not that he can adjust and I think he still be solid. But like, is he this wow prospect that's just a once every 10 year? I don't think so. And I just never thought so.
The Derrick Rose comparisons were kind of wild.
Yeah, like him and Collier is.
There's some similarities.
Collier could be as good as Scoot. They're in the same range, but the Derrick Rose or Jason Kidd. No, let's watch a little more. See what happens. But so great shout out to those guys that are doing good. We'll see some more.
And Ronnie, it's also kind of hard. Like I'm also going like with guys that kind of actually play like some real comp.
Like
a lot of these early college games just be like
bad.
Win by 50. Oh, shout out to our guy. We cannot forget Cohen Carr. Cohen Carr is playing really good for Michigan State right now.
He plays so damn hard. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't keep the guy off the floor.
Right. I was impressed when I saw him at the Ballislife All-American like practice games.
Yeah.
I think I told you. I was like, and I looked at his ranking, and I was kind of like, what the hell? Like, yo.
He's better than that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's way better than that. So seeing him in Michigan State doing the same things that we saw in LA, it just did not surprise me. Like you say, he plays so hard. He's athletic. He wants to get better. He loves basketball. It just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. Sometimes you can get some stuff like that from All-Star games. Again, most All-Star games are loose and it's not the greatest evaluation too. We know that it's not for that, but like you can still get some out of it. And if you play hard, and that was a really good game. Shout out to the Ballislife team, the 223 Ballislife All-American. It really was an entertaining game. Our guy Dinos is like, who the hell's going Carr? It's like he kept people engaged because he played so damn hard, So that was really cool to see. Shout out to him. So let's jump to the high school realm now. And again, instead of talking about the guys that are obvious, we wanted to talk about some of the young guys that we either seen or we want to say that we want to see who have a good 223, 224 scholastic high school season. Ani, let's start at the Pangos Fresh Soft Camp. So we really didn't get a chance to talk about the ending of those camps. Obviously, Jacob Lanier was there from Mamul, Arkansas. I hope I didn't botch that, his hometown, but he's a terrific young guy. We saw him at the Wooten camp. But who else impressed you there at the down at the Texas one?
Yeah, Lanier was really good.
Yeah.
Really scored the basketball, showed his playmaking abilities, and
Yeah.
just with his size and his athleticism, I was really impressed with him. Had a 40-point game, average what, like 40? He averaged 40 the first day, which was wild. Then I would go like, Trent Perry, who I know he was there for one day.
He
He's
was there for one day.
the
Yeah.
wing got a Frisco Memorial, about 6'4" with big time length. Dad played football at a high level. Mom, just like the whole athletic bloodlines are strong as hell.
Sure.
But he's a big time athlete that's really growing as a shooter and just a skilled guy. And he's arguably the best player in his class in the state of Texas. He plays hard. I think that's the one thing about him is that regardless of where he's seen himself ranked or seen himself, whatever, you can tell he comes from a real stable household because he always keeps his engine up. Guys at that age, you generally see him kind of like go like this. Yeah. And he just loves to compete and play. So I really love his future, and he was really good at the camp. Keontae Graybeard, he won the MVP of the top 60 game. He actually has a big game tonight. Frisco Emerson does against the Colony, who has some guys that we've seen in the freshman soft camp. And he's like a 6'4" athletic guard, really coming along, just from a skills perspective. I always kind of know more as an athlete, but now he's really showing his guard skills and ability to create. His self shot creation is really improving, getting better. So I really like him, and I liked how he took I should be top 30, but I'm top 60, so I'm going to show y'all I should have been on the top 30 game. I loved his approach to that and how he competed and just really imposed his will. Seven Spurlock.
Yeah.
Was good too. 6'5", 6'6", guard wing out of Frisco Memorial. Strong built. People ask me, it's like, has he plateaued from a physical standpoint? The kid is still 15 years old as a sophomore. He doesn't turn 16 till April. So at 6'9", played overseas. Brother played Division I and Division II ball. Like, again, basketball bloodlines I'm big with. He was really good at the camp. Lefty, strong, muscled his way to the rim, finished above the rim, showed some really high-level passing, especially as a pick-and-roll ball handler. Kind of just imposed his will from a physical standpoint, but also flashed and showed his skill when needed. I think he's more skilled than people give credit. But in the camp setting, big athletic guys like him that can handle the ball, they're going to just show more of the athleticism and physicality.
Yeah.
But what I did like is that he did show that he can handle it better. He can attack right when you give him his right. And, he can really make high-level passes that you don't see a lot of 15-year-olds make.
Yeah. Seven Spurlock is a physical specimen, and you're right. He's an underrated passer. He can do a lot. Like you said, because he can handle the ball and he can, get by guys. He's going to dominate in an open court setting like that, but he still showed a lot. The guy I'd like to mention, and he was for out-of-stater at the Burlington School, 227, King Gibson, athletic, good player. I'm really looking forward to see him do good or see how he does at the Burlington School, 227. Let's move on to the East Camp.
Tell me about that, because there was some beast big men in there. I hate that I missed it, but I heard it was a big time camp.
Yeah, the East always has the most size, just like height wise and girth usually. And boy, this kid who's for nationally ranked, he's playing with Dylan Harper at Don Bosco Prep. Kaner Asprilla, 7'1". I mean, he's just playing so dang hard. He kind of is like a tiny gallon type body. I mean, huge, 7'1", probably 270 or something. He just dominates at the plays so hard. And the guy that noticed right away, he was a 227. He went up against him, Akol Noik from Glen Elge County in Maryland, Glen Elge County. Again, he's 7'1", and he was 227. He's blocking shots, running the floor. These guys are like a legit 7-footers. Like, even went a little bit over. So we're not talking 6'9" or, oh, he's pretty good, he's 6'8".
Right.
It's like, these dudes are huge. You know what I mean? Like, moving well. And obviously, I ranked Kenner Asprilla from Don Bosco Prep in New Jersey #1. He got it. We waited. We set up the matchup in the All-Star game. They were on opposite teams, and A. Cole just kind of gave the nod, like, hey, he's stronger than me right now. I'll give it to him. He's a year older, one's 226, one's 227, because he graciously accepted like our the most outstanding player, Cole most outstanding player, because he probably didn't think he was gonna get it. And he, stepped forward and he was very thankful. You could tell he was like, man, I gotta get better. I still got some work to do, because he was really good. But our guy Sprill is just so big and strong. It's hard for any high school player to do anything against him. And I could just imagine what kind of season he's going to have playing with Dylan Harper and on that team that's Fat 50 ranked. Like, that guy's a big difference maker. There was another guy from the Newman School in Massachusetts, another big guy who really came with it. Collins Onyekjaka, 6'10", 226, again from Massachusetts. Bunch of good players from Archbishop Stepanak, who our guy, led by our guy Boogie Flan, going to Kentucky. We obviously talked about him in the preseason Fab 50 show. Stepanak had 5 guys ranked, in the top 50, and again, they were all really good. It was like they're all 226 or younger, and it's like Dylan Perry was very good from Archbishop Stepanak, 6'7", 226 wing. And then you got Josiah Jervis, 6'5" guard. Darius Ratliff, who's Theo Ratliff's son. So Theo Ratliff had twin sons there, the former shot blocker who played in the NBA. And Theo's 6'9". One of them's a little better than the other, a little more advanced, but they're both good players. A little bit of finesse to their game. They're a little thin. They're not anything like the guys I mentioned at the beginning of this segment for as far as this camp, but they're very good players. Hassan Karosi, a guard, big guard who could do something, 226, 6'4". And then Adonis Ratliff. So that's the two Ratliffs are, Adonis and Darius is just Darius and Adonis. Those two names to remember. I'll see them on at Hoop Hall West. Archbishop Stepanak has 2 games out west. So I'm really interested to see how that group of 5 does. Again, they're all going to get various playing time, but see how they do it in the Scholastic at a big setting. Like, what are they going to accomplish and who's going to play the most, who's the best kind of thing. And it was a great all-star game. Won on a buzzer beater pass. Jermel Thomas, probably the best guard there. He just was steady, got better. I got a chance to talk to his parents. They're saying, hey, talking about the camp, and hey, he's got to, finish strong. He shot well, and he set up the game-winning 3-point shot in the All-Star game. So that's Jermel Thomas out of Cardinal Hayes High School in the Bronx, 6'3" guard. Very good group of players. Again, we go check out our rankings when you get a chance. We ranked all 4 of the camps for him. Dino says fresh off, series that they always has in the fall. It's always good to get down to the South one. Obviously, we can't get to the one in Chicago much because of the border league.
Right.
But we get to the 3, and we have our ears on the one in Chicago. So to close out, any other young guy, Ani, or any other thing you're looking forward to? I know we got a lot of young players. We're following in 226, 227. Our guy Roger really wrote a piece on Eric Dampier, 228. We see these old in high school. Madison Ridgeland Academy, Mississippi, another NBA son. We talk about those a lot, but that's just the name of the game. We got to. But yeah, Dampier is a huge name right now in 228. Right now in 227, I know you've seen a few of the top ones. Is any one or two kind of stand out to you? And we'll close out with that. What do you see in 227 so far? Because I'll say out west, nobody's really like, wow, not like 226 so far.
I think for 227, the one that's really kind of stuck out to me is like Ryan. I think it's Ryland Hampton.
Okay.
RJ Hampton's younger brother.
Wow.
He's about 6'6", maybe 6'7", can really shoot the basketball, long arms. Like I told Rod when I saw him last year, I was like, man, you got another one. I told his dad, I said, man, you got another one. Like, it's early. Like, I ain't gonna say he a pro, but it's like,
no, it's just a
it's like, God, it's like, damn, like I seen this before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
He's really stuck out here in Texas. No one else, like, my guy asked me, say, who's the top guards in 227? I could probably name about 3 to 5 guards. I don't think anyone's really just stuck out like a sore thumb that much. In 227 right now, I don't know how. I don't want to say the class is bad because I don't really know. Like,
we don't know yet.
It seems like it's going to be a solid to good class, but I just don't know. No one's really stuck out. But in Texas, Lil Hampton, he is by far been the best. He's the best we have in the state of Texas.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's good stuff to know. I think on that note, we'll kind of wrap it up. Again, we're going to be watching. I know, Anna, you're going to go to Kentucky, and you'll be making a trek to Memphis. I'll be going to Phoenix for Hoop Hall West. I got some games here in California before Hoop Hall West that I'll get a chance to see Sunny Slope. They got Darius Wabbington, a 6'10" freshman, so I'm interested in seeing how he does in the Scholastic setting. First big game.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Sunny Slope in Phoenix. He's supposed to be one of the best 227. Yeah, it hasn't really been settled in California. Again, that 226 class. So got off to such a good start with, Taj Ariza, Jay Crow, Elijah Arenas. That hasn't really emerged just yet in 227, but we'll be watching, and that's the whole point. So we appreciate everybody tuning in to episode 170. We're going to get out of here. Again, we just wanted to, talk a little bit about the future, kind of what we've seen and what we're looking forward to. We got a lot of games coming up here in late Thanksgiving and, into December. So if we don't talk to you guys on Thanksgiving, you guys have a good holiday weekend. I know everybody takes Thanksgiving weekend, and maybe some people don't celebrate as much as others, but it's still great to just hang out with family and to relax at least for a day or two, and then you're gonna have to get over to the Hoop Fest, right away. There's no much rest for you, so me either. So on that note, we're out of here, Ronnie, and we'll talk to you guys soon.